Good afternoon everyone, I am Caleb Joshua B. Malabanan and for today we'll be discussing a part of the contemporary world. So, my topic for today would be the demographic dividend potential. So, our country which has a large working population can experience economic growth if it invests in education and skills development. However, this demographic dividend requires effective policies and institutions. So the Philippines stands at the cusp of a potential demographic dividend because of its sizable and growing working age population. So this refers to the economic boost na kakatabo if a large part or snag population naton is ara sa prime working age kagalid sa increased productivity and savings. Pero kuha ning ga-require kita effective policies and investment sa aton education, skills development kag job creation. So makuha lang ni siya naton if ga-invest kita sa aton nga mga education, sa mga effective policies, and if hindi na siya naton ma-investan, hindi mo na siya naton mapuslan. So next guys, we have our Philippine context. So, we have first here favorable age structure. So, sa aton country, over 60% sa population is ga-fall sa 15 to 64 age bracket and ga-expect ini to last until around 2050. So, this is a crucial nga time para sa economic growth sa aton nga country. And second, we have our challenges and opportunities. So, bisan amo na ni kanami aton nga demographic data, gakabudlayan ta Japon if paano mapuslan because ang aton skills gamismatch sa aton nga job requirements and ang worker requirements or qualifications naton is high nako. So galimit ni sa aton productivity kaga hinder sa full employment sa aton nga country and add up ta pa ang underinvestment sa aton infrastructure kag social protective systems nga gadugang sa pag-impede sang aton nga economic growth and gapasigi sang inequality sa aton nga country. So third, we have education and skills development. So need ta mag-invest sa quality education guys and vocational training para sa industry nga need or crucial para ma-equip ta aton nga kababayan sang relevant skills nga needed. So, need to promote pagid mga STEM education and public and private partnership for skills development. So, yeah. Next, we have job creation and entrepreneurship. So, para sa aton job creation and entrepreneurship, daghan kita di high growth sectors na need i-encourage ang job creation. So, first, we have the manufacturing. Kung in the manufacture sa mga factories and all, we also have tourism since the tourist places sa aton nga country. Next, we have the information technology since technology is continuing to improve at a rapid rate. So, para ma-invest kita dali para ma-absorb nila ang growing workforce sa aton nga country. Magaan jobs ang mga needed. And additionally, if mag-promote ta entrepreneurship, like ma-build sila sa ilang nga business and mag-support kita sa small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, maka-create kita new jobs and maka-continue ta ka-contribute sa aton nga economic diversification. So next here guys, we have our inclusive growth and social protection. So need ta ma-ensure nga ma-equitable distribution ang aton nga mga benefits. So need siya ma-divide equally sa aton nga mga population. So this involves promoting growth through targeted policies nga ga-address ang mga regional disparities, gender inequalities kag poverty. So need ta ni i-strengthen ang aton social protection system and i-include tadi ang included sa diri sa pag-strengthen ng social protection system is ang aton nga healthcare kag unemployment benefits. So maka-provide ni safety sa aton nets and prevent vulnerable groups from falling behind. Sa vulnerable groups, we have those who are in poverty, mga elderly nga hindi nakaobra, so amo ni gini ang pinakamabuligan nila. So next guys, we have the examples. So may ara kita strategy, then may ara man naghimo sa sininga strategy and naging successful siya. So first here we have the country called Vietnam. So ang country nga ini nag-focus niya sa education and skills development. So coupled with ginparisan sang foreign direct investments, so nag-lead ni siya sa remarkable economic transformation niya. So next we have South Korea. So nag-invest na sila sa technology and innovation. So gin-combine pagid niya siya sa skilled workforce and na-propel ini ang iyang rapid economic growth and in the latter half of the 20th century. So need naton mag-invest and need gini siya may pares like nagbulig sa aton or binuligan kita para maging successful siya. So for our next topic guys, we have a demographic transitions. So first we have shifting populations and implications. So what is demographic transitions representing? Gina-represent yan ang historical shift from high birth and death rates. So we have here stage 1 which is low birth and death rates. So mostly nisang kaka-experience sang many societies as they develop. So for stage 2 we have declining mortality due to improved healthcare. So ga-improve na ato healthcare, gamayo na siya and galid ni siya sa rapid population growth. So stage 3 we have here birth rates that finally drop due to factors like urbanization, female education, and economic change. So ga-help ni siya sa aton nga mag-less ang birth rates kay ang mga females ta mostly educated na sila, kabalo sila mag-birth plan, may mga contraceptives and all if hindi magid gusto magka-baby. So these transitions have significant implications. Ga-include niya sa aging population which decrease ang workforce participation and increase strain sa social service. So if damo aton elderly and due tayo aton nga young people, ga-decrease aton nga workforce participation and gadugang ang strain sa aton nga social services. And next, we have our declining fertility and aging population. So this shift ga-represent siya sang social and economic challenges. Kay ga-fewer ang workers tang supporting a larger dependent elderly population. Amo sa ginhambal ko kagina, if damo ang aton elderly, jutay ang aton nga young people nga maka-work pa, amo na ni ma-show up ang mga social and economic challenges. So healthcare systems and government policies must adapt, hindi nila maka-adapt para ma-address ang needs sang sini nga demographic segment. And next, we have the 10/40 window. So, opportunity ni sa para sa Remnant Church kay ang kani nga demographic phenomenon ga-refer ni siya where most of the world's population growth is occurring. So, this rapid growth particularly among youth ga-present ni siya sang significant missionary opportunity para sa Adventist Church. So, ga-offer niya sa sang large potential para sa audience for its message. Pero, that diverse and often unreached population aga need ni siya sang new and creative methods para ma-approach ang evangelism and cultural understanding. So what is the 10/40 window referring? So ga-refer niya sa geographical region roughly between 10 degrees and 40 degrees north latitude. So ga-encompass ni sa or ga-include ni sa sang North Africa, sang Middle East, kag sang Asia. So this area home ni sa para sa diverse population with a several distinct characteristics. First, we have the high population density. So roughly 2/3 of the world's population or over 4.4 billion people ga reside ni siya sa 10/40 na window. And this translates to a high population density. So, may mga significant na urban areas and vast gid katama nga rural areas. So, next we have religious diversity. So, the 10/40 windows is religiously diverse. So, meaning nga diverse, damo sini religion. Majority sang sini is Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Animism, and ang Christianity is a minority faith. jutay lang gini siya katama sa sini nga mga parts. And although may mga significant pockets of Christian community nga ga-exist pa, pero gamay gyud siya katama i-compare mo ni sa pila ni ka religion. So we have here third, unreached people groups. So since ini nga nga window ga house ni sa sang large concentration of unreached people. So defined ni siya sang those with limited access or no access to Christian gospel. So ang ginatudlan niya sa aton yung Christianity is very scarce lang gini siya, jutay lang gini siya makita mo. So ginestimate dire ni Joshua Project nga over 3 billion people in the window fall within sa sininga category. So next we have here poverty and socio-economic challenges. So since 4.4 billion people is arid in vast gid ang rural areas, so ga-overlap ni sa significant areas nga may high poverty and underdeveloped gid siya katama. So the World Bank, gag-report ang World Bank kami aris 85% of those living sa sining area is in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty meaning less than $1.90 ang gina-earn nila per day. So para sa aton, sino lang kaigo na siya sin mo sa isang kadlaw, especially if may family ka pa, hindi. So nara times nga once a day lang ni sila makakaon or wala di sila makakaon. So mga nga-reside sa sining nga region amo sina. So ga-translate niya sa limited access since very underdeveloped ni siya ang mga rural areas. So ga-translate siya sa limited access sang education, healthcare, kag basic necessities nga ila kinahanglan gid. So lastly, we have here the rapidly growing youth population. So despite nga underdeveloped sila or living in extreme poverty, we have here that they are also rapidly growing sa youth population. So despite sini nga high poverty rates, ang 10/40 windows experience sila rapid population growth, particularly among the young people. So this young demographic data represents a significant potential para sa outreach and mission efforts. And amo ni nga pwede tala mabuligan, pwede tala mahatagan education para mabuligan gid sila nga mag-improve not only sa ilang life financially but also spiritually. So next we have here cultural and ethnic diversity. So the region boosts immense cultural and ethnic diversity. So with numerous languages, traditions, and customs, need ta i-understand anay kag ma-respect ang diverse nga mga backgrounds para maging effective ang atong engagement within the 10/40 window.